All right, population density. If you see at the top, you see the definition. People per square area of land. Again, remember the word per is fraction bar. So we're going to do the United States and find the population density together. So we need the amount of people. Well, you can see, hopefully pretty clearly, that there are 309 million people in the U.S. So I will take those 309 million. Million means times 10 to the 6th. And we're going to divide it by my area, which is 3717811. That might not work out so well, so I'm going to go ahead and expand my top number. 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And divide it by 3,717,811. When I divide that, I get a nice and easy 83.11. Now, what does that mean? That means in the U.S., because we're talking about square miles here, in a square mile, so that's if you would make a square, and each side was a mile, so 1 mile, 1 mile. 83.11 people live in that square mile. Now, you might think, well, in Montana, there's no way, and you're right, there's not. But go to New York City, and there are way more than 83 people in a square mile. So it kind of balances out across the country. But this is the concept of population density. So now I want you to hit pause, and I want you to find the population density for these other 5 countries, and then when you're done, go to the next page and check your answers, because I have them all on there. Okay, so hit pause, try them out, then hit the next page. So you're doing population divided by the area in square miles. All right, so we've got Mexico, France, Japan, UK, and don't forget the US is 83.11, because now we're going to answer questions about all of these. Okay, so number 1, and you should probably try these questions first on your own and then come back and watch the video, see how you do. So number 1, using the table, and that's the table that you just completed. We're going to play the what if game. If the proportion of people to square miles were the same as in the U.S., how many people would be expected to live in Japan? So we're saying expected to live in Japan. That's our unknown. We're saying Japan is just like the U.S. Okay, so who are we comparing? We got the U.S., we got Japanesos. And what are we comparing? Well, people to square miles. So we got the peeps and we got the square miles. And that's population density, right? People over square miles. So we're saying they're the same as the U.S. So the U.S. has 309 million people. I'm going to just call it 309 and know that my people is all in millions. And the square miles for the U.S. is 3,717,811. All right, so the question is, how many people would be expected to live in Japan? Well, that's population. So this is what we're trying to find, assuming that their square area is the same, which is 145,883. So now we go ahead and cross multiply. So when I cross multiply, I get 3717811x equals super big number, because I'm going this direction, 450,77847. Again, the equal sign splits it. So we're going to divide by 3717811. 3717811. I kind of feel like I'm a little bit crazy. Well, shut up. Okay, so x equals, right? Because it leaves us with an x when we divide. And I end up with 12.1 rounded to the nearest tenth, and that's million. Okay, well, this leads us into our next page. So we just found that the estimated people in Japan would be 12.1 million. Okay, well, how does this compare to the actual? Well, how many actual people do they have? They actually have 128 million. They have more than 10 times what would be estimated if they lived in the same population density as the U.S., right? That means they're super crowded, right? They're living on top of each other. It's a small place, lots of people, it happens. So let's move on to number 3. Which country listed in the table? Oh my gosh, I can't spell. Look, I spelled country wrong. Time out. Spelling has never been my greatest strength. All right, so which country listed in the table above has the largest number of people per square mile? So if you go back and look, it's totally Japan. Super small country, super lot of people. in 1 square mile, again, that's a square area of land where you have 1 mile on each side, they have 877 people living in that square mile. And that's average for their country. So there are just people everywhere, which is kind of crazy. Which country has the smallest number of people? Well, those are our friends in Iceland with a population density of 7 point. Let's go ahead and round that up to 8, meaning in a piece of land that is 1 mile by 1 mile, 8 people live there, compared to the 877 in Japan. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. Okay, so what does it mean for two countries to be proportional in terms of their population and land area of land? Okay, well, first let's think about a proportion. If we're talking about population in area of land, that's population density. So if they're proportional, 2/3, 4/6, right, they reduce down to the same. If they're proportional, if these work, right, they reduce down to the same thing, that means that these countries have the same population density. That's what it means if two countries are proportional in terms of population and the area of their land. Yeah, that's it. Ooh, hope you enjoyed it.